Welcome everyone, friends and family, dearly beloved. Today we celebrate these two cherished men as they begin their first day of their journey. The day in which Derek and Gordon begin their life no longer as individuals, but as a fortress of one, in a bond of holy matrimony. As we move forward, Derek and Gordon have chosen to commemorate their marriage by lighting a unity candle. I want to invite Lisa Eastman up here to lead them in observance of those who cannot be here and of those we have lost.
This ceremony represents the joining of two families. Derek's father and Gordon's mother have already lit their candles as a symbol of their love towards their children, your family, your friends, and those who cannot be here today. That said, I want to take a moment to remember two very important people who are with us in spirit today. Derek's gram, Garnet, and Gordon's brother, Christopher. Garnet taught Derek how to be polite, the importance of respect, the value of education, and the importance of loving fully. If Garnet were here today, she might offer this piece of advice for both of you on your wedding day. Garnet would open her remarks with pride, and she would look to Gordon and Derek and say, work hard every day on making your relationship with each other the most important thing in your lives. Learn everything you can about each other and keep no secrets. Your love will sustain you through toughest times. Make a habit of being totally invested in each other. Work together to make your demands or your dreams come true. Do not put off enjoying life. Travel, celebrate, and cherish every day as if it were your last together. Congratulations. Christopher taught Gordon the importance of not taking yourself so seriously you forget to laugh. Not working so hard you miss out on the important things, and the humility to never take a single thing for granted. If he were here today, he might ask us all to raise a glass and say to the happy couple, I honestly wasn't sure Gordon would ever find someone. Not because there was no one good enough for him, but mostly I worried he lacked enough personality and finesse to lure a couch like Derek. The truth is, Derek, you have decided to hitch your wagon to someone I know to be incredibly caring, fiercely loyal, and willing to do anything for the people he loves. I wish you both a life of happiness, laughter, and health. Please now light your own candle.
I'm going to come and get it. I'm going to go light it.
Remember, light is the essence of our existence. Each one of us possesses an inner flame that represents our hopes, our dreams, and aspirations in life. Derek and Gordon, these two distinct candle flames represent your lives before this day.
There he is.
You gotta help him.
Don't go far. I won't need it one yet. Derek's side won that.
Derek and Gordon, these two distinct candle flames represent your lives before this day. Individual, unique, and special. Please take the candle symbolizing your life before today and together, light the center candle to symbolize the union of your individual lives.
You want me to pull it up?
As this new flame burns undivided, so shall your lives now be one. From now on, your thoughts will always be for each other, rather than just your individual selves. Your plans will be mutual. Your joys and sorrows, both will be shared alike. Although you are now entering into the union of marriage, you do not, however, lose your personal identity. Rather, you will use your special individuality to create and strengthen your union. Therefore, all three candles remain glowing. The individual candles represent all that makes each of you the wonderful and unique person the other admires and respects. The unity candle in the center symbolizes the union of your lives, families and friends, as well as your shining commitment to each other and to a lasting and loving marriage. May the blessing of light be with you always. Light without and light within. And may the sun shine upon you and warm your heart until it glows. Like a great fire, others may feel the warmth of your love for one another. We'll just take a moment of silence now to remember those who could not be here and to honor this moment.
And now we'd like to call up Derek's mother, Sharon, who would like to come and do a reading. Sharon?
I can't look at you and do this without crying, so. Oh, this is a verse that Derek asked me to read, and I am honored to do it for him. Love is an adventure and a conquest. It survives and develops like the universe itself, only by perpetual discovery. The only right love is between couples whose passion leads them, both one through the other, to a higher possession of their being. Put your faith in the Spirit, which dwells between the two of you. You have each offered yourself to the other as boundless fields of understanding, of enrichment, of mutually increased sensibility. You will meet above all by entering into a constantly sharing one another's thoughts, affections, and dreams. There alone, as you know in spirit, which has arrived through flesh, you will find no disappointments, no limits. There alone the skies are ever open for your love. There alone lies the great road ahead. I love you, my sons.
Good job.
Sharon rehearsed that 47 times.
I did.
All right, guys. Love is hard. Love is work. Constant calibration and communication. Love is trust. Love is acknowledgement. Acknowledging that you wouldn't be who you are without the other person. Above all others, love is finding your best friend and never letting go. Before I dive into this, I want to briefly give my thoughts politically on what's transpiring here today. because I don't wish to dwell on this too much. However, I think it's in a profound way the wheels of change slowly turning in the right direction. I know it's a relatively new thing, a new horizon for us trying to live their lives in equal blessing under the eyes of God. I say this blessing has always been there. I say that only the fear of man has gotten in the way. Because my God makes no mistakes. My God blesses everyone. My God changes everyone with free will. By design, we are a flawed species, but if we are to endeavor to be more perfect beings, then we should embrace the very essence that my God values more than all the wonders of the universe. Unbridled, unfettered, unconditional love. So, given that one true constant in the universe, let's put this to rest. It should never matter that Derek is Hispanic. Or Gordon is Irish? Yeah. The Irish? I don't know. All right, anyway. Like the swan, the beaver, the macaroni penguin, the gray wolf, the seahorse, the shingle-backed skink, the bald eagle, the gibbon, like all these animals, we as humans try to pair bond with each other. Not all of us, but most of us. Some do it too quickly. We're still so young, before we even know who we are yet. Some do it slowly, if at all, when they seem comfortable in only themselves, where sharing a part of their soul seems ludicrous and too vulnerable. Some do it multiple times, excited with the feeling of infatuation that captivates their emotions, but lasts only as long as the high pervades, only to move on when faced with when real commitment comes their way. Don't get me wrong, I'm not judging. Remember, God blessed us with free will. Do you do what you think is right for you? Then there are those who, like that little skink, it's a lizard, by the way. I don't know if you know what that is. I'm not saying you two are lizards or anything. See in their lives that a part of who they are could not exist if not for the presence of a mate, the one they choose to exist with on their journey on this earth. We as humans find this pairing, when done for the right reasons, so very magical, so very essential, so very spiritual, that we invite others to gather and witness these two pledge themselves to each other. Afterwards, we celebrate by throwing food at them, by dancing in clothing that's not made for dancing, by catching odd garments from their nervous, sweaty bodies that they've tossed at you, or catching decapitated, colorfully arranged flora in hopes that their fortune of the newly bonded humans will somehow rub off on them. Such pageantry, such spectacle, and we relish in it. For at the heart of it all, we know that the world just got a little better, a little brighter. It's been a long road, you two. A long struggle through land and sea and air and trial and heartbreak. Here at the end of that journey, you take your final steps to each other, to a new beginning. I don't mean literally. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So how do we explain the nature of what's about to transpire between Gordon and Derek? It seems to me that the people that wrote the traditional sacred oath of a union were way smarter than me, so I thought I'd take this oath and dissect it a little bit. For to be truly learned and wise, we must use the wisdom and deft work of those who came before us, so we can apply it and make it better. The oath usually goes like this. You guys all know this. I blank take thee blank to be my wedded blank, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do us part. So let's examine this a little, shall we? I take thee. In its simplicity, it's a declaration of choice. Not to be taken lightly. Probably one, if not the most important choices to make in your life. If you truly take seriously the sanctity of marriage, then this is a weighty decision, not to be trivialized or taken on impulse. It is an exercise in deliberation, self-reflection, a soul-searching effort to find that companion who will walk that path of life with you. Someone you deem worthy of stepping along as a most perfect and complementary companion. One which you claim, you accept, you trust with everything you are. I choose thee. I take thee. To be my wedded. Like so many things which when combined together are pretty damn good. Huh? Coffee and cream, peanut butter and jelly. You can't have left without right. Peaches and herb. Captain and Tennille. All right, that's a little old school, but how about my old folks out there? Cheese and wine. I mean, come on, people. What is a Pinot Noir without a Gruyere, huh?
Exactly.
Knowledge and power. These are two smart dudes. I venture to say that together they're going to take this world by the balls and make it give them the money that it owes them. To enter henceforth into a state which results in so much better than both individuals when combined. An emotion of souls. So that one name cannot be spoken without the other. Darden. Dorek. We get a Star Trek movie or something like that? Gordon, from now on, he's going to be the vermouth to your gin. Derek, from now on, he's going to be the Bay, the Moth, the Sasha Fierce to your Jay-Z. To be my wedding. From this day forward, sort of like looking up the cliff into the valley of the unknown, that uneasy, nerve-wracking, dry-mouth, butt-puckering sensation as the car approaches the apex of the track. As you gaze around and survey the craziness that lay before you, you look to your right and reach for the hand of the one person willing to brave this adventure with you. You close your eyes, and for a split second, you're weightless. That moment when you know there's no going back, and with all the love and the courage in your heart, you hold a little tighter. You say a little prayer. You open your eyes. And scream your freaking head off as in sheer terror as the roller coaster begins swift plummeting down the dizzying heights and the twists and turning, sometimes nauseating, always thrilling, unpredictable maelstrom. This ride is freaking crazy. 46 times. Are you ready for this? From this day forward. For better or worse. This is the one part which I think people have the toughest time with. When marriage fails, this always seems to be the thread that starts to unravel. Yes, there's going to be a lot of better times, times that are so glorious that together you wish would never end. Those trips to Cancun, the best steak dinner, box seats, the birth of your children, the birth of your grandchildren. Then there are those times, the worst times, when your trust and your strength are truly tested. Those times where the seeds of doubt get planted. Those times where small things start to burrow and fester and soon become big things. Who didn't do the dishes? Who didn't clean up after the dog? Who snores too loud? Who spent too much money on chin sculpting? Who doesn't look as good as they used to? Derek? No, I'm not asking a question. There's going to come a time when you're no longer at sea and you're home. You will get up in the morning every day with your husband next to you. Every day. Every single flip of the calendar day. Are you ready for this? Gordon.
Yep.
There's going to come a time when Derek is no longer at sea and he's home. He will get up with you in the morning. Every day. Every single flip of the calendar day. Are you ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Gordon!
Yeah.
There will come a time when Derek will no longer be this chiseled Adonis you see before you now. Age will catch up with them as it catches up with us all. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Derek! The day is coming soon where Gordon is going to retire. Those assless chaps. So! Are you ready for that? Oh, come on. In the course of life and marriage, there will be change, good and bad. You cannot let these worst things, these cancerous things, start to overtake the soul of your union. Communicate, listen, disagree, let him know how you feel. Be prepared to concede now and then. Just keep his hand in yours. It'll get better with him, for better or worse, in sickness and in health. I consider this a subset of better or worse because, let's face it, what's worse than seeing your mate battling illness? What can be more worse than the heartbreaking, terrifying, lonely struggle? God forbid it ever happens to either of you, but there might come a time where sickness becomes a burden, a path through hell for the both of you, a test of your union and your will. Are you ready for this? Hold his hand a little tighter in sickness and in health. I mean, honestly, whoever, why do they even put the health thing in there? I swear to God. It's the sickness. I mean, it's like you're going to leave the guy because he's too healthy or something like that? Hey, how do you like Gordon? It was great, but he had a clean bill of health. That son of a bitch. To love and to cherish. I want you two to promise me one thing. That you'll never stop gushing about each other to your friends and family. Not only do I want you to present your men in a positive way, I want people to get sick of listening to you talk about them. I want to see the two of you holding hands, feeding each other, finishing each other's sentences, smacking each other's asses, and calling each other schmoopsy. Schmoopsy! Right in front of your grandkids. Save every scrap of paper, every text, every concert ticket, every selfie, every tweet. Burden those grandchildren with all that senseless clutter. Be proud of each other's accomplishments. If they take a painting class and give you a sample of their work, I want you to frame it. I don't care if it looks like it was painted by a sick baboon with hiccups or something like that. Never stop holding each other's hand. To love and to cherish. From this day forward till death do us part. You know, Julie and I just got through watching the show on Netflix called Derek. Anybody seen it? Not you, Derek. Anybody seen that? Derek? Great show. Ricky Gervais. Anyway, it features Ricky Gervais as this middle-aged autistic man who volunteers in an assisted living center. It's really touching. It's got great writing. It's got a little funny scenes, some raunchy scenes, some irreverent scenes, and some dialogue that's incredibly grounded and touching. I recommend you guys watch it. There's only like 6 episodes per season, 2 seasons. It's an easy watch. One episode in particular struck me as the most human and very empathic level. Hopefully I can get through this. It was about an elderly woman who was suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's. Her husband had visited her every day in a suit. He wanted to look his best, knowing she might not recognize him. He would reintroduce himself to her every day. He lauded that he got to get her to fall in love with him again, all over again, every day. How many people can say that? It was a truly sad, touching moment. And as the priest was administering last rites, it dubbed his narration and went to something like this. He says, "You see, here's the thing. People see a couple of doddering old fools caught in a time warp waiting to die. But I see a beautiful young girl from Dublin who wants to spend the rest of her life with me. I win. Don't feel sorry for me or Lizzie. We had the best life we could ever have because we spent it together. I wish this for you. I wish this with all my heart. When you're better or worse, you're richer or poorer, your sickness and health have reached its true and natural progression. When all you have left is the purest of hearts still beating in your aged chest, knowing that those beats will cease forever. I wish for you the peace of knowing it was the best life you could ever have because you spent it together. Amen." I don't mean about the Alzheimer's, by the way. And now, if you feel comfortable doing so, would you please stand and join me as we sanctify this marriage by reciting the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now comes to the point where these two have written their own vows for each other. I think we start with Derek.
He totally called kid.
Gordon, you are the love of my life. I never could have imagined that you finally answering my Tinder message would have led us to here. And I know I have your mom to thank for that. So, thank you. The day I walked down that ferry ramp to get into your car was the start of something special. Somewhere between the Thai food, the impromptu tour of the city, and meeting your crazy softball friends, I realized that you and I just clicked. I remember us dating for the next few months, and just before going back to work, I found myself falling hard for you. And after hearing so many horror stories from coworkers on ships, I was terrified that I'd leave, and you would too. But there you were. Coming home from that first assignment, I knew that you were the one. I knew that no matter what, you would be there, and I would always come home to you. These past 4 years have been a whirlwind. The dogs, the move to Virginia, the long ship assignments. But through it all, we persevered. As your husband, I promise to always try to raise the stakes with my jokes to make you laugh. I promise to keep you in my heart when we're apart, and to always come back to the wonderful life we've created. I promise to give you all my love and support, regardless of where we end up in the world, or how we get there. The most important step we can take is always the next one, and I can't wait to see where that leads us.
All right, Gordon, you're up.
Okay, I don't know how you stole some of my material. I'll see if I can read the printer. So,
You want my reading glasses?
yeah. I wrote this about a year after we met. It is dated June 27th, 2018. I went back a few weeks ago and had to rewrite and look at it to make sure that it was what I wanted to say to you. And actually, it still held true for the most part. And here we go. I thought being gay meant I no longer got to have a life that I wanted. I thought I wouldn't get to have my own family, a dog or kids, a white picket fence that I'd always dreamed of. I spent much of my time moving away from that dream and convincing myself that I could settle for something that was at least halfway decent. Went through relationships searching for normal, forcing myself to see a life with people who couldn't see me. I was convinced the world was made up of these people and only these people. Then, right before I was about to delete this stupid dating app, I get a message from this suave, charismatic guy saying, "What's up?" And that's where it all started. A message from a brave man who put himself out there and made himself vulnerable by super liking me. When I got your message, I was at Nana's house with my mother, and I remember taking my phone out of my pocket, rolling my eyes, and just before I put it back in my pocket, my mom asked who it was, and I said, "Oh, just some guy hitting me up." To which she responded, "Well, if he was nice enough to message you, the least you could do was message him back." So the Catholic guilt obviously works. You stepped off the ferry to meet me, and I remember thinking to myself that I needed to remember this moment for some reason. You were wearing your MSC polo, you had a hat, jeans, those damn gray Vans that you love so much. You were confident and secure. I could tell you were only a touch nervous. Our first date, I took you to Thai food, and you ordered a Singha beer, and I ordered a
Hendrix Martini.
Yeah.
Filthy, if I remember right.
So, Mom, thank you. Perhaps the most important thing you've ever done for me, outside of birthing me. Second most important thing. Right? Derek, you have given me the life I was convinced I would never get to have. You're the man of my dreams. You've made a home. There's probably a dog at this point, and dear God, there might even be children one day.
Yes.
You have made all my dreams come true, and you have done it without even knowing it. Loving you is as easy and natural as breathing. Knowing you is like knowing myself, and understanding you is like reading a page from my own book. Your weird compliments my weird. So here I am at a time way before our wedding date, way before you asking me to marry you, and way before you're probably even considering it. I'm sure that makes me weird, but I know one day I will marry you, and I will read you this story. The story of how, against all odds, you and I came to be. How two people who tried so hard to do what's right and good all of our lives, H2, were finally rewarded with the perfect mate. You are my other half. You keep me grounded so I don't float away. You make me laugh when I'm convinced I want to wallow. You are the only person I want to stay when I say I want to be alone. So finally, to my vows. I vow always to try to laugh at your terrible jokes. Even if they're as painful as the steaks that we just recycled, apparently. I vow to always be here when you come home. I vow to always treat you with respect, to be loyal and honest. I vow to stop recommending a cruise vacation when you get home. I vow to walk with you hand in hand, side by side, through this life that we choose. I vow to always protect your life and your heart. I cannot promise to solve all of your troubles, but I can vow that I will be there to face them with you.
Next time you're writing this sermon.
That's why I went first.
Okay, let's get this over with then. Do you, Gordon, take thee, Derek, to be your lawful wedded husband, to have and to hold, for better or worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do you part?
I do.
Do you, Derek, take thee, Gordon, to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold, for better or worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do you part?
Thank you.
Can you get the rings? Gordon, will you place your ring on Derek's hand and repeat after me? I, Gordon,
I, Gordon,
give thee, Derek,
give thee, Derek,
my life,
my life,
my devotion,
my devotion,
my commitment,
my commitment,
my loyalty,
my loyalty,
my trust,
my trust,
and my passwords,
my password,
and my car keys,
and my car keys,
and my routing numbers,
routing number,
and my biscuits and gravy recipes,
B&G for sure,
and my unconditional love,
and unconditional love,
as long as my soul remains on this earth.
as long as my soul remains on this earth.
Derek, will you place the ring on Gordon's hand and repeat after me? I, Derek, give thee, Gordon,
I, Derek, give thee, Gordon,
my life,
my life,
my devotion,
my devotion,
my commitment,
my commitment,
my loyalty,
my loyalty,
my trust,
my trust,
and all my uniforms,
all my uniforms,
and my hot sauce,
my hot sauce,
and my launch codes. He's part of the military.
launch coat shirt,
And my beer glass that kind of looks like a boot.
a beer glass,
And my unconditional love,
my unconditional love,
for as long as my soul remains on this earth.
as long as my soul remains on this earth.
I'd like to call up Kathy, one of Gordon's many adopted mothers, who would like to do a reading.
This is a Buddhist blessing that Gordon asked me to read for you all. Do not deceive. Do not despise each other anywhere. Do not be angry nor bear secret resentments. For as a mother will risk her life and watches of her children, so boundless be your love to all. So tender, so kind, and so mild. Cherish goodwill, right and left, early and late, and without hindrance, without stint. Be free of hate and envy, while standing and walking and sitting down. Whatever you have in mind, the rule of life that is always best is to be loving kind. Love you.
I guess that's all that's left to make this official. Derek and Gordon, I wish you nothing but joy and peace together. May you travel in each other's footsteps, and may you be in each other's thoughts and hearts all the days of your life. By the grace of God, by all we hold dear, by the power vested in me in the state of Washington, I now pronounce you Derek and Gordon, Gordon and Derek, mates for life, husband and husband. Ladies and gentlemen, and any non-gender specific people out there, may I present to you Mr. and Mr. Acuna.
This is mysterious way without you.
Make sure you hold his hand.
Haven't known you 20 seconds or 20 years. Can I go where you go? Can we always be this close forever and ever? Take me home, take me home. Cause you're mine, 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 Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand? Let the guitars drink slow in my hand. I'll take this magnificent man to my all you do is touch for me. At every table, I'll save you